So yesterday we have discussed about the inheritance. Okay. So in that we observed about the definition about the inheritance is that the mechanism in which object of one class can acquire the properties of object of another class. Okay, or I discussed like a parent-child relationship between a classes is also called as inheritance. In this, parent class properties will be get inherited by child class. Will be get inherited by child class. So that means what, simply by using the child class object, by using the child class object, we can access or we can invoke the members of a parent class. So that is what we observe. No doubt there is limitation that only public protected and default members of the parent class will be get accessible in the child class. Private members of a parent class are not available for the inheritance. So parent members have the very high restrictions that members will use only within that class. So even the child class cannot access the private members of the parent. So that is what we observed. Then we observed that parent class is also called as a super class, or we call it as the base class, and a child class is also called as a subclass. Okay, it is also called as a subclass. So if we have to implement the inheritance, we need to use the extend keyword. So one class has been already created, and that will be get extended by other class. So through this mechanism, we are going to inherit the properties of other class. So it is very important mechanism. It is very important mechanism used to achieve two things. One is extensibility, and second is what, the reusability. So that is what we observed. Then we were discussing about the types of inheritance. Types of inheritance. Types of inheritance. So in types of inheritance, we observed there is one single inheritance. Single inheritance. Okay, then there will be a second multi level inheritance. Okay, then there will be a third one, as we can say hierarchical inheritance. Okay, and fourth one is there, that is what we call it as the hybrid multiple inheritance. So these are the various types of inheritance. This is not possible in Java, not possible in Java. So no doubt solution for that one is interface. So we have the next concept, we call it as the interface. So this problem, that is what the multiple inheritance can be achieved through the interfaces, so that we can see. So we observed in the single inheritance is that if we do have only one parent class, okay, if we have the one parent, like assume A class is that, and that is been inherited by B class, inherited by the B class. So assume this A class, we call it as the parent class. Okay, and this B class, we call it as the child class. So if only two classes are involved in the inheritance, then we call it as the single inheritance. So programmatically, if we have to implement this, okay, we just have to write a class, assume like a class A. Okay, and this class is been already there. It is like a normal Java class which we have discussed. Okay, this is the normal Java class which we have discussed. Now I want to extend the functionality, so I just created a class. I just written a B. Okay, I just written a B, and there I have to write a extends, and here I will write a A. I will write a A. So this is what the mechanism. This is what the mechanism like. Class B extends A. That means that A is a parent and B is a child, or A is a base class and B is a derived class. So this kind of relationship between a classes, this kind of a relationship between the classes, we call it as the single inheritance. We call it as the single inheritance. So in this, as yesterday we observed that if we create an object of A class, if we create a object of A class and try to invoke the members, then we can invoke the members of A only. We can't invoke the members of a B. Okay, because so parent class object cannot invoke the members of a child. So here I can just simply write a note. Parent class object cannot access members of child class, cannot access the members of a child class, because that means that if I create object of a parent, it can access only parent class members. It will access only parent class member. Okay, but if I will say like here, child class object can access or invoke members of parent as well as child class, So in inheritance, we should always create a object of a child class. We should always create object of a child class. No doubt, we can create object of a parent class. We can create a object of a parent class, but by using the object of parent class, we can invoke the parent class members only. Okay, so child class members we can't access by using a parent class object. Okay, but if I created the object of a child class, I can access the members of a parent as well as members of a child. So that is what the discussion here I can say. But one point you guys have to remember. If there is no any kind of relationship like this one, that means what? I have created a class A, I have created a class B like a normal. There is no inheritance kind of relationship. So in this case, if I have to invoke the members of A, I need object of A only. And if I have to invoke the members of B, I need an object of B only. By using object of one class, I can't access members of other class if there is no any kind of relationship between these two classes. Okay, but this happens only when there is a inheritance kind of relationship. If there is no relationship and you have to access the members of particular class, you need object of that class only. You guys have to remember it. Okay, but that rule will be get broken by a inheritance kind of relationship. For example, simply see. For example, assume like I do have one method, public void. I will write here very simple method display. I will write a very simple method here display. In this display, I will simply write system.out.println, and in parent display, like in this way I have written. Okay, exactly same way in this one I have written a public void show method is there. Public void show method is there. Very normal method. I'm writing here system.out.println, and in that one I'm just simply putting here in child show. In a child show like this one, I have written the method. Now see if I create if I create a object of a B class, B obj B is equals to new, and here I just written a B. So here obj B is the object of a B class. Obj B is the object of B class, and if I return obj B dot display, objb dot display, see objb is object of a B and display is from the A class, I can invoke, it will work, it will work exactly same way. If I return objb dot show, objb dot show, there should not be a problem because show is belongs to the B, objb is object of a B class, so there will be a no problem. So it will invoke like this one. So by using a child class object, we can invoke the members of a parent as well as the members of a child. So if I created object of A, see obj, I have written here A is equals to new, and I just written obj, sorry, I just written here A, okay, and this one. So this is what obj is an object of obj is the object of a class. Now by using obj A dot, if I return the display, there will be no problem because display belongs to the A class, object is of A class, so it will invoke. But if I tried obj A dot show, obj A dot show, compiler give error on this line. Compiler will give error on this line that show belongs to the child class, and by using the parent class object we cannot invoke the members of a child class. So this is what a very actually important and very great actually concept of Java, that by using the object of one class we can access the members of a other class. That means what, whatever the methods we have written, if I want to provide the reuse or I have to reuse that code, I just make the relationship between the classes. I just make the relationship between the classes, and as I made the relationship between the classes, then whatever the content present in the parent class we can access through the child class object. So that is what very basic, very simple concept of inheritance. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this was about very I just said like it is about the single inheritance. Okay, I will show you this one, or I will show you through the Eclipse actually. So I just go to the Eclipse. You can see here. I just close this. Okay, I think we have not started with the inheritance. So I just create one package here. New, or I just simply create one class. Okay, class A. Okay, in that A class, I just com dot icons dot, okay, and that is what the inheritance topic is that. So that is what the new package I have created. Okay, and in that one, yes, this is what the class we have created. I just control V. So I just return class A public void display. In that one we can write here system dot out dot print ln. Okay, like this one I have written. Very simple method of a class A I have written here. Okay, so system dot out dot println in parent display, very basic class. Now in the same package, I will create another one class. Okay, class B. Okay, I just created like this one. Okay, but I just copy from here. Okay, control V. Okay, in that one I just taken this. Okay, in the B class I need to replace this control V. Okay, so in a child show, here I will make it as a public. Okay, printing mistake I think there. So class B extend CA. Okay, and now I will create a third one class, that is what the test AB in the same package, class test AB. Okay, I need their main method, so I just created like this. Okay, this is my main method. Now again I will copy this content whatever I created, and you can see control C. Okay, control V. You can see here, this is what the object I have created, class B, class B object, and through that one I am trying to invoke this one, and even class obj new like this one. Okay, so if I try to execute, you guys can observe here. Yes. So in a parent display, in a child show, and in a parent display. So these three methods we have invoked. If I have written like this one, obj dot show, obj dot show, you can see show is not available. It is giving the error. It is the method show is undefined for the type A, and we can't access that one. So on this line, it is simply showing the error. Okay, it is showing the error. So I just have to put this one onto the comment like this. Okay, so this is why, because of the relationship inheritance. But if there is no any kind of relationship here, assume like I have not created like this. Okay, there is no any kind of relationship. You can observe here itself it is showing the error, that what it is showing here, display is not belongs to the class B. Okay, I am trying to invoke display by using the B class object, and B is not sorry, B class don't have the display method, so it will simply give the error. So it is possible only when there is a inheritance kind of relationship, and if only two classes are involved within an inheritance, if only two classes are involved within an inheritance, then we call it as the single inheritance. Hope it is clear to all.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So again, one thing you can see here, that this method I have declared as a public. Without access modifier, if I put it this one, without access modifier, if I class A, okay, then we have written like this one. Okay, and here I have written, and there is no problem to this. So default method as well as a public method can be accessed. But if I return it as a private, if I return it as a private, you can see in the test AB it is showing the error that private method not accessible from the outside. Even its own class, even in its own class object cannot access that method from the outside. Okay, so other class there is no chance. Okay, so private members of a classes, private members of a classes are not available or not accessible, not available or not accessible to the outside, or these are not available for the inheritance. So I want to give more restrictions, I want to provide some security, so I can go for the protected, I can go for the protected. So protected access modifier, protected access modifier is introduced in the inheritance only. It is come in the introduce only, in inheritance only. So if I declare any member as a protected, that member can be accessed within a same class as well as its child classes. So here I just created the B, you can see, and here in the test, okay, here there is no any problem, there is no any problem, as I have made it as the protected, I have made it as a protected. But assume like I just have created a third one class, assume like there is a class as a C, I have created a class as a C. Okay, so this is my class, and now in this one I have created object of a C class. Okay, I have not put it any body, so don't worry. So C objc is equals to new, and I just written a C. Okay, so in a C there is no any object I have written. Okay, now if objc by using a objc, can I access the display method over here? So it's not possible. It's not possible. So we can't access the non-member method. We can't access the non-member method, even though it is the public, private, or protected like this one. So this is what we can say about a protected access modifier, and this is what about a single inheritance. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Good. So next we can just go for the another one kind of inheritance. That is what a multi-level kind of inheritance. So if we understood the single inheritance, okay, it is just extension to that one. So I just copy this code, Control C, class A and class B is already there. So there is the multi-level kind of inheritance I'm trying. Control C, Control V. So that means what? Assume I do have one class A. I do have one class A. I can say this is the parent class. Okay, this is the parent. Now I will have another one class B. Okay, this is a child. This is the child of B. Sorry, this is a child of A. So B is a child of A. Again, what I will do? I will create another one class C. Okay, and that C class is again the child of a B. Okay, then if I created again like this one, D, this is again the child of C. So properties of A will be get inherited to B. Okay, through B it will be get inherited to C, and through C it will be get inherited to D. That means what here? By using object of a D class, I can access the members of a C, members of a B, as well as the members of A. And there is no restriction to the level. There is no here multi-level. First level, second level, third level, like that one. So there is no any kind of restrictions over here. So such a kind of inheritance, if it is there, then we call it as the multi-level inheritance. So you can simply observe, if I created object of a B class, I can access the members of a B as well as the members of A. If I created object of a C class, I can access the members of a C, members of a B, as well as the members of A. If I created object of a D class, I can access the members of a D, members of a C, members of a B, members of a A. That means what? If by using a D class object, we can access the members of all other level classes of members. So within a multi-level inheritance, we should always create a object of a last level child class. Object of a last level child class. So programmatically, I can simply write here class A, okay, public void display, class B extends A, like this one. Exactly same. I just write here a class, okay, class C, which must extends B. Okay, and in that one I can write my any member. So I just write here a public void. I can just write a put data. Again, it will be for the display purpose. So I'm just taking the name as like this one. Okay, so in this way, B is a parent for C, A is a parent for B, or I can say C is a child of B, B is a child of A. If again, if I created other class, it will be a such a kind of relationship. And if programmatically, if we are achieving this one, then this is what we call it as the multi-level inheritance. So in Eclipse, already we have created A class and a B class. Within a C class, if I have created here what I did. Okay, here I just write a public void put data. Okay, and in that one, in put data, okay, I just have to make it as a method. Okay, then in that one, I just make it as sysout. Okay, and in in C put the data. In a C put the data like this one I have created. Okay. Now within this one, now I will create an object of this. I will create a object of this class. Why display is not obj b display y. Okay. Now there is no I, as I have not saved. Okay, now by using a C object, obj C dot, you can see display is available. Sorry, I have not implemented the inheritance. So I will write here class C extends, class C extends, I can say B. Class C extends B. Now there is a relation. A is a parent for B, B is a parent for C. And I am creating a object of a C, and by using a C class object, I am trying to invoke the display. And you can see it is from the parent. It is from the last level parent, parent A. Okay, then I can write here obj C dot. Here I can write a show. Okay, this is from child B. Okay, and it is parent for the C. Okay, we can consider any, depends. Okay, and here I just put it obj C dot, and now we can put the data. Okay, we can, and this is from the one class. Okay, one, that is what from the C. So if I can write like this one. So if I try to execute this, you can simply observe. Okay, I have not saved it. So, and you can see, okay, put the data, show and a display is being called. Okay, so this is what a multi-level kind of inheritance. This is what a multi-level kind of a inheritance we can see. Okay, so this is what multi-level. Then we have the hierarchical inheritance. It is like a very simple. See, actually assume I do have one parent class A. Assume like I do have one parent class A. Okay, and this parent class is inherited by, okay, I just shift it to the here so that I can make it easy. Okay, here I just try to make class B, which is a first child, okay, child one of class A, which is the first child. Okay, so I just try to show you through this. So B is a child one. Okay, exactly same way I just make it as the C class. Okay, and which is the, I want to make it as a child two. So if single class have more than one child, if a single class have more than one child, then it is called as a hierarchical. Again, there is no limitations on the hierarchy. So B class inherits the A, C class also inherit the A. Okay, so that means what B and C are the siblings. So, but even though both are inheriting the members of A, if I created object of a B, that is what the child one, I can access the members of a B as well as the members of A. Okay, and if I created object of a C, I can access the members of a C as well as the members of A. But by using a B class object, I cannot access the members of a C, and by using a C class object, I cannot access the members of a B. So that is what the hierarchical inheritance. That is what the hierarchical inheritance. So here very simply I can write a class. Here class A, it is been created. Assume something is there. Okay, now I just try to create another one class. It is the class B, which extends. I just written a A. Okay, I just written a A. Okay, and exactly same way I am trying to create another one class. That is what the C, which extends. Okay, that will extend the again A. That means what? One class. Here, what I can say? One class can be inherited. By more than one classes, more than one classes. And if it is happening like this one, then it is what we call it as the hierarchical kind of inheritance. It is what we call it as the hierarchical kind of inheritance. So as I said, by using see, if hierarchical kind of inheritance is there, then we have to create a object of all last level classes. Object of all last level classes. That means what? Who is at the last level? So B and C both are at the last level. So I need to create an object of B as well as I need to create an object of C. Then only I can access the all members. Otherwise, if I create an object of B only, I can access the members of B and E, not a C. If I created object of a C, I can access the members of a C and a, not a B. So in hierarchical inheritance, compulsory, I need to create a object of all last level classes object. I need to create an object of all last level classes. So this is what I can say hierarchical kind of inheritance. If you go to the Eclipse here, same class A is been inherited by B. Okay, I just want to change here. So class B, which I mentioned here, the B, I will replace it at A. Okay, I just made it as A. That means what? I did here, A is a parent for B as well as A is a parent for C. So now here, actually, if I have to invoke the members, I need to create object of A as well as, I need to create object of B as well as object of C. So see, I created object of B. I can access the members of B as well as a member of A. And hence display and show there is no problem. But if I return like objb dot put data, if I have written like this one, it will give the error. It is not giving the, okay, it is simply giving the error. It is giving the error that put data is not a member of a B class. Okay. And if I am writing like this one, you can see here it is giving the error. Here it is giving the error. So it is giving the error over here. Okay. So I have to put this one on the, okay, I have to make it as a comment here and I can save and now I can execute and you can see the members of all three classes have been called. Parent display child show, parent display C put data like this. So this is what we can say hierarchical representation. Okay, so in the real world of programming, according to the business scenario, according to the business requirement, we have to select one of the inheritance types in the program. Yes. Okay. And the last one is there, as I can say here, there is the multiple inheritance, which is not possible, okay, within this. So if assume like I do have a class A as a parent 1, okay, and I do have a class B, okay, that is what the parent 2, and I just want to create a class C as a child of both. So this kind of inheritance is not possible in Java. So class, okay, if I return the C, which wants to extends A, B. So this is not possible. This is not possible, we can see. Okay. Yes.